A fresh blanket of snow on the Wasatch Front welcomes another capacity crowd inside the Huntsman Center, where fans are encouraged to wear either red or white to stripe the Huntsman. It's number 4 Utah hosting Denver U in a Rocky Mountain Rumble live on ESPN+. Now this is the week we switched to the national rankings NQS format. That's an average of each team's 6 best scores, with at least 3 coming on the road. Oklahoma remaining at the top of the table. UCLA goes from 5th to 2nd. LSU holds on to 3rd, and the Red Rocks stay in the first 4. Hi everybody, Jim Watson and Lisa Mound. Welcome to Salt Lake City. So Utah's number 4 in the country. They're still unbeaten in Big 12 play, but it wasn't easy last week down in Tempe against Arizona State. Bit of a scare.
Bit of a scare on the balance beam. Going into their last event, they were on pace for 198. It was their best meet of the season thus far, and then they had uncharacteristic breaks in 4 of the 6 athletes. They had to count a fall there and barely squeaked out of Tempe with that win. So Coach Carly Dockendorf came home this week, revamped their beam lineup. Emily Morgan, the senior Olympian, will be back in that leadoff spot, and we also have the return of Avery Neff, the freshman phenom, to the beam lineup tonight.
So the lineup looks good. The numbers look even better. In fact, they're ranked in the top 5 on all 4 events. They haven't done that since 2009. Emily Morgan ranked on 2 events, 13th on bars, 21st on the beam. Cammie Winger, good on 3 events. She is fantastic on beam. She's ranked number 11. What about amazing Grace McCallum? She put up Utah's first 10 of the season on bars in Tempe last week. That's the 4th of her career. But it all starts with McKenna Smith, doesn't it? Who's tied for the team lead with 15 wins.
McKenna Smith is such a dominant and delightful force for this team. Ranked 5th all around, top on the team, and 5th on vault. That Omelianchik vault she does, she is so good at finding the landing. She has a vibe and an attitude and a confidence about her gymnastics that's really infectious and important for this team as they aim for the national title.
She's ranked 5th on vault, 11th on beam, 10th on floor. Into the all-around, she's 5th best in the country. What about Denver? Well, they're a top 20 team. Plenty of talent like Madison Reidenbach, Big 12 Specialist of the Week.
The sophomore is so good on vault, but also provides really important depth for them on bars and floor. Their lineup is senior heavy. 20 of 24 routines from the postseason last year return. And so Madison's vault, this 9.975 from last week, so important to their future success. We'll see if she can get that landing again tonight.
After tonight, Denver will be a top 20 team. They are on the rise. Its best 2 meets, its last 2 meets, so they are coming in hot. Meantime, the Red Rocks looking to recapture their mountain mojo. It's Denver against number 4 Utah. Only on ESPN+. We'll see you back at the Huntsman. Back inside the Huntsman Center is Stripe the Huntsman. Some sections in red, some sections in white to raise awareness for ALS and find a cure. 2 coaches tonight. Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt in her 27th year at Denver, longest tenured and winningest head coach in Denver history. She just won her 502nd meet. I haven't even seen that much gymnastics. And Carly Dockendorf in her 2nd season led the Red Rocks to the Final 4 last year. First year coach ever to do that. But they've got some work to do after Arizona State. They almost gave it away last week. Utah, as the home team in the Olympic order, begins on the vault. On the season, Utah is ranked 5th in the country on this event, averaging a 49.255. Ella Zerbas to lead off the meet. She has been in the lineup in every meet. 3 times she has gone 9.875, including last week at Arizona State.
Ella will lead off with that Yurchenko 1.5 vault forward landing and nails it. What an exceptional vault. She's so technically good in the air at that, but has yet to stick it. She is a reigning first-team All-American, so what a delight for Utah to have that opening up their lineup and setting the tone.
9.875 is a season best, but she's gone 9.925 in her career. What's wrong with this?
Yeah.
Maybe a little landing?
We slowed it down so I can see that there's some leg bends right before she finds the landing, but the landing itself, good position, chest was up. I would just be picky about the leg form there.
But we didn't see it till the replay, and the judges don't have replays. So
judges don't have replays. Really great start.
Denver begins its night on the bars. They haven't qualified for NQS because they haven't had enough road meets, but I did the math. They would be top 10 on this event. They're coming off their highest score of the season of 49.475 against Oregon State. This is Rosie Casale.
She's really exceptional, very clean, nice Maloney to the bail. Check out her handstand positions. She's a fifth year. She's done so much in her career for them and really just shows such a command of this event. Her double layout, nice and floaty, and lands the stick of her own. Game on.
She's an All-American herself. She's gone 9.875 a couple of times, including last week against Oregon State.
So you'll see this combination quite a bit in college gymnastics, the Maloney backswing, bail handstand. What I like about Rosie there is her arms were perfectly straight, great height on the backswing, and then that double layout. What's not to like? You want to flip at the height of the bar, keep your hips extended, find the landing with your chest up. Check, check, check.
Back over to vault. We'll add the scores as we go. Ella Zerbis went 9.925. That ties a career high. And here is Grace McCallum. Early in the season, she'd been up and down on this event, but 3 straight have been 9.8 or better.
And gets great height on, nice block on that 1.5, but a pretty sizable step forward, which is what we have seen from Grace on that vault all season. So just looking for her to have a bit better air awareness. Her hips tend to bend a little bit in her twist here. So just there, they're piked a little bit, and then she opens up, and man, I really want to see her absorb that landing and bend her knees to find that stick.
Last time you and I saw her vault in this room against Arizona, she went 9.9 on that vault, but she stepped out of the landing, so probably won't get to that level.
Yep, she's capable of the stick, we know that, but not tonight.
Momoka Iwai, senior from Dallas, Texas, had been on bars in the first couple of meets. Season high 9.875, came against Michigan.
Yeah, it's been about 5 weeks since she's been on bars. We'll see her do the same looking combination, the toe onto the Maloney, and unfortunately had to adjust her grip. That extra swing will be 3/10. It will also break that connection that she needed for a host of different special requirements. So likely to only start from a 9.8, if not below that. Beautiful double layout. You can tell she is a pretty exceptional bar swinger, but that's going to be an unfortunate low score for them.
EY has a couple more chances tonight. Her program includes the floor and the beam. Remember, 6 compete at 5 scores, so this might be the one they want to drop.
Does a nice job throwing that double layout, a little bit archy for my taste in the back, but unfortunate one for them.
Jaylene Gilstrap back in the vault lineup for Utah. She had a 9.8 West Virginia.
In for Emily Morgan today. She'll do the Yurchenko full vault, so see if she can find the stick.
So not a 10-0 start value.
Not a 10-0.
Hold on to it, yeah.
Wow, I just saw that right foot slide back, but just technically so beautiful. I like how she gets a rise off of the table before she starts her turn. It makes sure that she's got a lot of height and also keeps her straight down the mat. So you see on replay that just brief pause before she twists, and just that right foot steps back. You know, Jaylene is known for her exceptional leg form and toe point, and it's fun to see it there on vault.
That's a situation for an athlete filling in, turns an obligation into an opportunity, and comes through.
Yeah, great depth to have that vault in your back pocket.
Rosie Casale went 9.9. That is a season high on bars for her. Nice start for Denver. And Madison Ulrich, sophomore from Fort Mill in South Carolina, steps to the bars.
She may be a sophomore, but she has done all around in every single meet of her Denver career, and she's often been up in the lineup after mistakes. And she is just such a beautiful worker. Her club, Southeastern Gymnastics, produces some of the finest college gymnasts, and thus far, not a hair out of place. Loving these handstands. Also does a double layout like the rest of the lineup, and wow.
Come on.
I mean, that was an exceptional.
And as you mentioned, after a mistake, they had to get back on track. They needed a big score, and she delivers.
Yeah, just gorgeous. I love this backswing there that gets to the height of the high bar. Nice pack salto, straight arms on the catch. And then her double layout, textbook. You see the bar coach there,
Yeah.
Linus Gaveka. What's not to love? He's an exceptional bar coach.
Yeah, Kavika with the big, had his mouth open because he knew it was good and he saw the position.
Yep.
So he's expecting the big score. All they had to do was get the landing. So EY only a 9-6. So they're going to need a big score from Ulrich. Back to Utah on the vault. Gilstrap goes 9.825. Here is Cammie Winger.
I want to see a big block from Cammie.
She's got 9.8 or better 5 in a row.
Yep, 1.5 vault. Much better.
Little step, but that's it.
Yep, really nice. In warm-ups, she was struggling a little bit with bent arms on the table. They were mostly straight, which allows her to get a good block. Looked like from, our view back here that she didn't need that extra step. Let's take a look from the side angle here. Yep, better entry, a little bit of a shoulder angle.
Just that left foot steps forward.
Yep. So when you enter the vault table, you want your arms to be perfectly straight and behind your head to get the maximum propulsion. But really great job to come back in the lineup.
Check out the score for Ulrich, a 9.95 season high, but she has gone 9.975 in her career.
Really well deserved.
Kylie Rorick, junior from North Carolina, an All-American on this event, is coming off a season high 9.925 last week.
Very nice blind change into the straddle Jaeger. Shy on that top bar handstand. You need to be within 10 degrees of vertical. I would put her more at the 20-degree mark, which could be a 1 to 2/10 deduction. Better on the high bar there, and another double layout from her. And just a small hop in place, but this is, Denver is a top 10 team on bars, and it's great to see these athletes coming back after the mistake from EY. So here's this straddle Jaeger. She did a nice job keeping her arms straight on the catch. She was a little bit close, but absorbed that through her shoulders instead of through her arms, which would have been a deduction. And just hop in place, but beautiful job.
Not a surprise to see Denver tearing up the bars last week. All 6 of their scores were 9.85 or better in the Oregon State quad meet. Here she is, McKenna Smith. We talked about her in the open. She's 5th in the country on this event. She has been great. All 8 of her scores, at least 9.85.
Half on front pike off has been so good at finding the landing. You can see she wanted to open up to find that, which means she under-rotated a little bit and took that pretty sizable step back. So won't be close to her 9.975, but I like at this point in the season that she's going for the stick. Nice pike position and just opens up a hair too early to find that landing.
They still have McKenna Smith and Ashley Glenn. The low score for Utah right now is a 9.825, which is still respectable. Cecilia Cooley, the junior from New York. And again, they've responded, has Denver. Remember that Casali had the 9.9, then the problem with EY, 9.95 for Ulrich, and Rorick goes 9.875, so they're putting together a tremendous opening rotation.
And a huge release move here off the top. That toe on Ray, beautifully done. Love seeing the high flying release moves on the single bar as opposed to the between bar releases.
9.925 for her on this event a week ago.
And it's the compulsory dismount for them, the double layout, and it's contagious. Those sticks are
Kavika likes that one too.
Yeah, they are a special bar team. I've said throughout the season, Coach Kutcher Reinhardt said they just have not at all put together a perfect meet yet. They had the mistake from EY, but the way these athletes are responding shows you that that adversity has been good for them to practice through. And you don't need to peak in February. You want to peak in April. And if I have Denver at my regional, I am worried.
Yeah, you said that a couple times this week or during our call with Melissa, and then when you and I were prepping, and now I'm starting to be a believer. They're a dangerous team. They started out slow, but they're heating up in a hurry. Here's Ashley Glenn. McKenna Smith went 9.85. So the number to beat is the 9.825.
We'll do the 1.5 vault, see if she can find the forward landing. She has
out of it.
so much power. just exceptional technique. That block is among the best in the country, but unfortunately took 2 steps forward, and so it's 1/10 per step. So depending on how the judges are, following the real rule book today, we'll see what the score ends up at. But it's so beautiful in the air, and you can see both feet take a step forward there. So, but just an exceptional ball.
Utah already had banked a 49-3-5-0, waiting for that final score. Riley Mundell, anchor spot for Denver on the bars.
Love this Tkachev. She starts off with, really swings into it, gets great turnover. She is one to show off her handstand positions.
Former Big 12 co-champion on this event a couple of years ago. Has gone 9-9 3 times this year. They would love a 9-9 right here.
She gets this stick on her double layout. I could see that in her future.
Hold on to it. Oh, college stick rolling off the heels.
So the hop back there, when you're done hopping or stepping, you have to show control for 1 second without moving, or it's a 0.5 deduction. So we will see what they do with it. But I just am so impressed with her handstand positions as we see her set up for the double layout. Dismount, beautiful technique, and special bar set for Denver.
So we'll wait for the score on Mundell, but it's going to put Denver well over 49. And again, their average on the season had been a 49-1. 49-2, and they've gone as high as 49-4-7-5. They did that last week. Zoe Johnson in an exhibition role, trying to get some experience in front of a big crowd. She debuted her first scoring event last week at Arizona State on the floor, went 9-9, so they're expecting big things from Zoe.
She is a powerhouse, super remarkable tumbler and vaulter. Did a 1.5 all through her club career, just getting her college legs under her, and quite a beautiful 1.5 or full available for her.
Kind of a new thing this year in collegiate gymnastics, coaches affording each other a couple of exhibitions. So Madison Reidenbach getting one here on bars.
Very clean Jaeger to start. Bale didn't quite get the tap into that she needed, so she had some bent arms and missed the handstand position. Same with on the high bar. Solid positions on the double layout, a hop forward. But important for her to just keep getting that competition experience.
So Utah goes 49-3-5-0 after the final score matched the 9-8-2-5 from earlier. But how about Denver on the bars? Even with the problem, Denver just put up a season-high 49-5-2-5. Well, that's got to make Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt pretty happy. We're going to talk with her. We come back to the Huntsman Center, talk to her about that first rotation, about the season, and about winning 502 gymnastics meets. Unbelievable. We wanted to take a moment to join the University of Denver community in honoring the life of Chancellor Emeritus Daniel L. Ritchie, who passed away on January 30th. Ritchie was an immense supporter of DU athletics during his time as the school's Cowboy Chancellor. Among his accomplishments as Chancellor was leading the university to full Division I status in 1999. Daniel L. Ritchie was 93 years old. Back at the Huntsman Center, and Denver leads Utah after the first rotation. Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt, the 27-year head coach at Denver, joins us now. What do you want to talk about your longevity? Let's talk about what just happened. 49-5-2-5, that is a season high for you guys on bars.
We're a really strong bar team, and I like how they just took one person at a time. We're just trying to stay in the moment.
So speaking of great bar workers, Madison Ulrich goes season high 9.95. In just her short career, can you talk about the incredible impact she's had?
One of my favorite things about her is the way she trains. She trains to be this level of excellence, so it's really fun to see that happen.
And Melissa, you know, we looked at last week, and I think your low score counted was a 9.85. Now you go 9.875. And it reminds me, we're having our conversation. You said we started out slowly this year, was uncharacteristic, but now we're starting to look more like us.
Yeah, and I think for us, it's about putting all the events together, every person throughout the entire meet. But we are slowly, progressively getting stronger and stronger.
Appreciate your time as always. Good luck rest of the way. Go get them.
Thank you.
Alyssa Kutcher-Reinhardt and Denver. Their last 2 meets have been their best, season high on 3 events, and they just did it again. Their opponents are much better this year. They bumped up the schedule, and they're beating them, too. Look, they've beaten 3 teams ranked in the top 13. Oregon State, part of that quad, at home in Denver last week. And the 500 win puts her 3rd most among active coaches, I guess. Beth Blocky at Michigan, and, of course, KJ Kindler at Oklahoma.
Pretty great company to be in.
Blocky's got like 1,000.
Yeah, she doubles
Getting
up
into
everybody.
Marsden territory at that point.
Absolutely.
And then the 3 Big 12 weekly awards, including Reidenbach with Specialist of the Week in the Big 12. Series history, it is one-sided, of course, Utah 20-0, but they haven't seen each other in a long time, since 2017. Now, Denver is an affiliate member of the Big 12 in gymnastics since 2016. Now that Utah joins the Big 12, they're going to see each other every year, which is great for college gymnastics fans.
Yeah, I think you want to see these conferences have really strong teams at the top, and when Oklahoma leaves, to have Denver at the top, or amongst the top, is going to be really fun for these fans to watch.
Denver leads after the first rotation, .175. They just put up a season best on bars, 49.525. Utah went 49.350. That's usual for them, but now they're going to go to the bars, where last week in Tempe, Grace McCallum did something. Well, she's done it 3 times before, but it's still perfect.
And it was as good as I've seen her do this routine this year. She only does 2 handstands. She connects so many elements in the beginning that are so difficult. And I love the way she celebrates those sticks. She has been such an incredible gymnast throughout her career. Obviously, the Olympics and the NCAA dominance that she's had, but approaching the twilight of her gymnastics career, Coach Dockendorf said she would be one who, if there was a professional league, if there was adult leagues that she could do, she would just keep going. She loves gymnastics so much.
Well, you mentioned Olympic silver medalist. She's been world champion twice. She's been on the biggest stages, but college gymnastics is different because it's not about an individual performance. It's a team effort.
Yep. Different level of pressure when you're doing it for your teammates.
So now we switch, and that means Denver goes to the vault, where they are a top 10 team as well on this statistically. Mila Brush, junior from Cincinnati, will lead them off. She was all Big 12 on this event last year, and she's been in the lineup every week this season, and they've all been 9.8 or better. She had a 9.9 at Arkansas, so looking to get off to a quick start here for the Pioneers.
She does a massive Yurchenko full twist, opens it up, big hop back, but love the big air that she gets. Has nice flat hips on the twist, and she sort of walks into it. You can tell she has such good technique and so much power that it's just a really exquisite vault. She's checking out the replay right away.
Yeah, technology has a place in women's gymnastics. First up on the bars for Utah is going to be McKenna Smith. Utah is ranked 2nd in the country. They just came off their highest score of the season on any event, 49.6.
She has great form. What I want to see from McKenna are the handstand positions in this. Right up here, want to see it all the way vertical. Excellent control. Toe on, toe off. Dismount coming up. And she's so good at finding the stick. This place is rocking tonight.
This is the only event in which she's not ranked nationally, and that looked pretty good.
Yeah, what a leadoff to have. She's so consistent. Let's check out these handstands I was talking about. Like I said, you want to be able to just hold your pencil up to the sky.
Isn't that perfect?
Yep. Really beautiful. From both angles. And this toe on front pike half does a nice job. Now, judges will probably say her shoulders were over her knees, so a little bit of a deduction.
Yeah, leaning forward, yeah.
From the lean, but really beautiful.
Bella Mabanta, graduate student. Her sister's also on the team, but not competing this season. Recent scores have been improving. Went 9-9 against BYU. Hops out of the landing, but other than that, really clean.
Yeah, that Yurchenko full that they have in their lineups, they're there because they are so technically good. They can do the harder 1.5, but unless you can consistently nail the landing, you're going to get a more consistent score off of a fold that you know is going to land super well. Now the hop there can be 1, 2, 2.5 tenths, but just such a technically precise vault.
Should see her a couple of more times tonight. McKenna Smith got a 9.9. Here's Ashley Glenn.
I want you to pay attention to both her toe point, but also just her handstand positions and her stalter work that we'll see on the high bar. So
I'm watching her
right
toes,
there.
and they're exquisite right now.
Here's another stalter that she'll do into her double tuck. Just gorgeous. The way she really yanks on the bar and nails that landing.
Wow, she's gone 9.9 3 times this year. That's got to be in that neighborhood.
Yeah, she's so clean and so crisp on bars. It's very precise. She's such a confident bar worker. There's that stalter, straddle circle around the bar, double tuck. And as long as you can slide your heels together, it's okay if you land with your feet slightly apart. Physiologically, it's better for you to land with your feet a little bit apart than directly together. Judges know that.
Madison Ulrich, next up for Denver. 4 times she's gone 9.8 or better. A 10-0 start value. They have 4 10-0s in their lineup.
But a different looking vault. She'll do that front pike half. 10-0, got to get your chest up.
Yes.
Excellent. That was beautifully done. Great job coming over the top with that twist. Some vaulters have a tendency to land that with your chest low. And she does a nice job getting the shoulders up. Technically, you want them to be all the way up at vertical when you land. So hers were a little bit in front of her toes there, but just a gorgeous vault. Command of that landing.
At least I don't know if you know this, Denver's pretty good.
You
You told me that all week,
I've
didn't you?
been saying it. I've been saying it.
Wow, really impressed so far. 9.9, 9.5, 9.95 for Utah on the bars. Remember, Denver was leading after the first rotation. Here's Avery Neff back on the bars. Remember, she went through a difficult sprained ankle. We weren't sure if we'd see her again this year. She's been back on bars, but only bars tonight, also adding beam.
Yep, and really like the Ginger connection to the overshoot. It's okay that she doesn't take that second skill to handstand. You want to see it at horizontal instead. And we'll just see a double layout from her. She says it's hard for her to find the stick on that. So it's been a debate between her and Coach Jimmy Pratt, the bar coach. She wants to do the full in because she says it's easier for her to find the stick. I think the evidence is in her side right now.
Right before the meet started, I saw Jimmy Pratt in the tunnel, and I asked him, "Are you going to let her do the display?" He said, not yet, but everybody's pushing me. But the adults got to be in the room.
Yep, but her double layout, nice and stretched, a little bit of leg form. Judges can't necessarily see that from the side, but I'm sure she's annoyed with the slide back on that double layout.
Yeah, they're bringing her back slowly. They understand the long view here. She's still a freshman, #1 recruit in the country coming in. Madison Reidenbach once again, as we check the scores, 9.8, 9.825, and a 9.85 for Denver so far.
Here's her 1.5 vault, and
Hold on.
the feet don't move again. So good at finding that landing.
Wow.
Now, you know, when your upper body moves on the stick, that is a deduction. I don't mean to keep harping on that, but the stick is so hard to do on this vault. And knowing that she's only done it 7 times in her career, I like her leg form and I like her air awareness. Nice height. Nice job. See how she sort of looks over her shoulder on the way down? That helps her find the landing.
Amelie Morgan is next up for Utah. They have already gone 9.9, 9.95, and a 9.85. So they're averaging 9.9 across the board right now.
She does fun connection here off the bat. Does her Maloney. And then does this Bahard wash. Full twist in her pack salto. Lands a little bit over the bar, so could get a deduction because of the shoulder break there, but right back up to the bar. The Van Leeuwen, so difficult. And then we'll do a front half dismount. And good job holding on. Arm swing for the stick. She's ranked 13th there. So much difficulty in this routine. this Maloney, you've got to get the backswing in the right place, and the pack was just a little bit over the bar with the shoulders. But I love the diversity in their dismounts with this tuck front half. Really squeezes, uses the toes.
She's got 9-9 the last 2 weeks in a row on that. We saw her here against Arizona, then on the road at Arizona State. Denver began the meet with Rosie Casale. Now she returns on vault.
1.5 from Rosie. And I couldn't see if her left foot moved or not, but either way, another fantastic landing for them.
She's all Big 12 on this event. 10-0 start value again. Season best was only a 9.875. This might be her best of the year.
Yep, really
foot,
clean.
I don't, maybe twist.
You know, it does sort of twist
Here it goes.
in place.
Better here.
Let's see, check that left foot.
Twister right there, just readjusted it.
Yep, that's a hard call. That's why I'm glad I'm not in the blue jacket.
Yeah, they're having a great rotation. Utah's trying to rally, and so far doing that. Morgan goes 9.875. Ella Zerbis, her last 4 have all been 9.875 or better.
This height on this Jaeger is unmatched in the NCAA, and wow, she caught that way far out on her fingertips. Exceptional job to work through to the overshoot, but we'll have a rhythm deduction for how she stalled out on that low bar, but technically so beautiful across the bars, but you could tell she's disappointed because it wasn't up to her incredible potential. She was second team All-American last year. Check the Jaeger, the flexibility, the toe point, the height, but wow, I don't think she hardly got her dowel over the bar. And so we'll get a deduction on that overshoot on the low bar because she stalled out a little bit. So she does have the option to sort of change that routine depending on how she catches it.
She had to Superman back to the bar.
Yeah, really needed every inch.
Riley Mundell, the 23 Big 12 co-champion on vault. Again, a 10-0 start value.
1.5 coming up for Riley. And those landings are contagious. Again, not a perfect stick in my mind. Hops forward out of it a little bit. But, you know, already this has got to be up there with the season best for them.
Yeah, everything so far between a 9.85 and a 9.9. No, 9.95. Excuse me, I'm sorry, looking at the wrong column. Everything between a 9.8 and a 9.925.
They've been resting Riley, you know, fifth-year senior. She's done a lot of gymnastics, and so really fun to see her back in the vault lineup.
So no scoring on Ella Zerbis yet, but that means that Grace McCallum will have to come through in the anchor spot. It's kind of what she does.
Yeah, there's few better anchors that you can have in the country than Grace McCallum. I would wager the scoring discrepancy or the conference right now is because if the judges are more than a tenth away from each other between the 9.8 and 10.0 mark, they have to inquire. And so, you know, with the deduction from Ella on the overshoot, I can see one judge being a little more harsh than the other.
Grace McCallum, the NCAA runner-up in 23 on this event. She has won 6 of the 8 meets on this event. She's ranked number 2 in the country, and every score this year has been at least a 9.875. She had a 10 last week at Arizona State.
She does 4 elements in a row to start this routine. Out of this handstand. Beautifully done. The first one is a chow, backswing to the pack, and then she connects right to the toe on, and then her Van Leeuwen, really nicely done. Good job maintaining your legs. And then we're full in. Excellent.
Oh, she's gonna make the judges sharpen their pencils again.
Wow, or not even touch the paper with the pencils. I mean, very little that I could see from our vantage point.
It just seems like she floats and goes a bit slower than everyone. No rush to it at all.
No, the fluidity that she does throughout this combination. So does her Maloney from a Stalter, named after Amy Chow, the 96 Olympian. And then here's her Van Leeuwen, and right up to the high bar. Just her dismount. Beautiful.
Nothing moves.
Heels slide together like they're supposed to. Oh, you could see this crowd is annoyed because there was 110 and 1995. So she goes 9975, Judge 2 getting the boost.
And so that'll improve their 49.350 to 49.550. Amanda Hargreaves now for Denver in an exhibition role on vault.
Yurchenko full from her, gets super power. Has also trained the 1.5 from the same club as the reigning NCAA vault champion from Stanford, Anna Roberts. Metropolitan out of Seattle. They know how to coach vault.
There's Cami Winger also exhibitioning for Utah on bars. I'm checking scores. Utah goes 49.550 on bars, just under its season high 49.6 last week in Tempe. Denver goes 49.350, which is a season best for them for the second rotation in a row.
Cami has beautiful and different handstand positions. She does a straight body cast instead of the straddle that you see from most NCAA athletes. Just a little bit more difficult, and I like, it's just unique. Does a full twisting double back dismount and great landing. You know, you've got Cami Winger on the bench, you've got Anna Potteriou, you've got so many options for the Red Rocks, which is really important.
In Denver's last 10 rotations, 5 of them have been season bests. That's how good they've been of late. But Utah, on the strength of that 49.550, noses in front. The lead for the Red Rocks after 2.025. Coming up after the break, we caught up with Red Rocks senior Jaylene Gilstrap, the Texas native, who says there's only one thing on her mind in her final go as a Red Rock. It's what they're all talking about in Salt Lake City. They're obsessed with it inside the Huntsman Center. No more third place finishes. This year, they go for a national championship.
If you could give me that top goal for your senior season, what would it be?
I mean, the obvious goal is to win an NCAA championship. I've dreamed of being a college gymnast ever since, I think, 2012 when I watched college gymnastics for the first time. And I didn't really know, because I'm from Texas, so Utah wasn't necessarily like a school that I saw like often. But I think once I came here and once I saw the environment, I was like, I want to be here. This is what I want to do. And I think it even exceeded those expectations when I got here. Just like I didn't realize how big the fans and the culture here truly was. I mean, we're a football school, but also a gymnastics school. People know the Red Rocks, and that's like a very cool thing for me to see. I don't know, it's a very fun feeling like a celebrity around campus. I'm like, I just knew it. I knew it right when I came on campus, like within the first day. Like, this is where I want to be. It's just something I felt in my heart, and that's what I tell even like our recruits that come up. I'm like, you feel it, you'll know if this is home. Everyone here has really come into the culture. And we have this whole mentality Carly has started at the beginning of the year of like, you're gonna give 100% of whatever you have that day. If you feel like in the gym you only have 50% that day, you're gonna give 100% of the 50 every single day. I see everyone pushing themselves, pushing each other, like very encouraging. We all just want the same thing. And it's like a difference you can feel. You can feel that everyone is striving to be their better selves every single day. And that does, at the end of the day, is what makes the difference. And when I committed here, I wrote a letter saying that my dream is to be a part of the team that brings us back to #1. It would mean the world to me. I mean, 4 years in a row of getting third, I think that's some sort of record about consistency. But I mean, this team, like every single person wants it. And you can see that day in and day out. We're putting in the work now, because we talk about that all the time. What we do today is what's gonna help us in April. And with it being the 50 years of Utah gymnastics, I think it would just be such an incredible year to do it. And I'm like, arguably it's my last year, so of course I want it to be this year, but I think just, especially the group of girls we have, like every single person is putting in the work now. So I think it would be a good year to do it.
Jaylene Gilstrap in her 5th season, maybe last chance at a national championship in Salt Lake City. Tonight, the theme of the meet, Stripe the Huntsman. It is ALS Awareness Night, so they encourage the fans to wear either red or white, depending upon your section. Team is also rocking some red Leos tonight to honor the team manager Maya Schroeder, whose dad, Eric, was diagnosed 14 years ago with ALS, a guy who was a hiker and a biker and a skier, and this insidious disease has continued to affect his body. It's just an awful disease. If you don't know, it's called Lou Gehrig's disease commonly. It attacks your brain, your spinal cord, and now this once active man now communicates by blinking into a computer screen. Meanwhile, his daughter down on the floor, pulling mats, springboards, and was a pretty good gymnast herself back in the day.
Yeah, level 10 at Flathead Gymnastics in Montana, said her dad has been such an inspiration to her and also to the team. It was Jaylene Gilstrap who said, we want to do something to honor him. And she, just was so moved by that. The coaches are making a $10 donation per stick made to the ALS Association, which is a group that does research on curing ALS. Maya said her favorite event was Beam, and she just takes her dad's life lesson of being grateful every day.
And if you come to a Utah meet, you'll notice there's always a theme. They always honor some worthy group or person, and it becomes personal to the team. They take it on, and for what Maya Schroeder does for this team, they all said, it's time for us to do something for you.
Yeah. And a, good moment for them to stop and regather themselves before they come to Beam, an event that was rough for them last week. They tried moving Amelie later in the lineup because she's an Olympian. She's incredible, and they wanted the scores to build there, but they found she gets the same score wherever she is in the lineup, and she loves being in the leadoff. She was the leadoff for Great Britain at the Tokyo Olympics in their last rotation up on Beam, where she led them to the bronze. This triple series she starts with 2 back handsprings to the layout. Difficult, it gives her a lot of her bonus points. Beautifully done. Calm and secure beam worker. Here's her switch half, connected right into a beam jump. I like how she drops to the beam after that. Some style points from me. Called artistic gymnastics for a reason. You want to combine artistry, dance with the athleticism, and she does such a beautiful job combining the two. Just her dismount left, and this is sort of the lead off of your dreams if she can stick the front full off the side. Nails it. At home in that leadoff spot, at home in the Huntsman. What a routine from Emily.
And you might wonder, it's only one performance on the toughest event. Why are they getting so excited? Well, there's extra emphasis on the beam tonight. After all the trouble at Arizona State last week, they have to come back tonight, Utah, and prove that they have both the grit and the grace to win a national championship. That is coming back on the toughest event after you struggled last week and be back to #1 in the nation, which is what they're ranked. Isn't that the irony?
Right.
They almost blew the meet last week on beam and got elevated to #1. It's a mathematical anomaly. Kylie Rourke on floor, third rotation for Denver. They're right in this meet. 0.025 difference between these two teams.
You a Backstreet Boys fan, Jim?
Who isn't?
Got a whole medley coming up. Opens up, double salto pass, a front flip into a double tuck. Gets a lot of height on that front tuck. Got to get a lot of momentum.
Stays in.
Stays in, but the hop back with her front foot via deduction. Beautiful leaps, great 180 split and precision. If you do a full twisting leap, the judges want to see your feet go 360, no more, no less. She does a nice job there. Closes with a double pike. Beautiful Beautiful landing, good chest position. Excellent lead off. Love this back and forth meet we've got so far. Two really exciting teams. So this front tuck, when you're doing the front to the back pass like that, it's important to be in the right body position out of the front tuck, and she was just a little bit high coming out of it, and so I think that's why the double tuck was a little bit low, but comes back beautifully and has a nice chest position, and no foot faults on that double pike.
Emily Morgan went 9.925 to tie a season high on beam. Now competing will be Cami Winger, who's ranked 14th in the country. All of her meets have been great on beam until she had trouble last week at Arizona State, but she wasn't the only one. And leave it behind.
Yep, struggled a little bit on her flight series that you'll see, I think, is one of the most dynamic two layout series being done in NCAA. She's such a utilitarian player for them. She can go in on any event at any time.
She was even in the all-around once this year. They just asked her to fill in. Best of Utah, she went 39.475.
Two layouts. Beautiful.
Flawless.
Coach Zuckerberg said she was actually sort of grateful for the adversity because they had not faced it at all. And you could tell they weren't ready for it. And so much better to get it mid-season than to have a situation in the postseason where your continued gymnastics is dependent on recovering from falls. So far, just a little bit nervy on her leap series. Did a good job maintaining the connection, but will dismount here. Back handspring, gainer full, off the side. Gorgeous stick. Excellent comeback from Cami Winger. Here's these two layouts in connection. Gets so much bonus. It's a nice job coming straight up. And nails the landing. If I'm being really picky, technically you get a deduction for bent arms on back handsprings in NCAA gymnastics. I don't think I've ever seen a judge take one, but if I was being really picky, that's where I'd find errors in Cami's routine.
Roerich went 9.825. Mila Brush 4 times has gone at least 9.8 with a 9.9 against West Virginia.
Like on vault, for Mila, it's about controlling her incredible power. Beautiful double pike. You could tell she opened up a little too early because she was trying to find that landing. Her sister Arya competed at Auburn. Good positions on those leaps. Mia Sundstrom, former Denver great, is one of their floor coaches. Done choreography and really helped on those leaps. She saves her double salto pass for last. Her front tuck through to double tuck. Well done.
That was a beautiful final pass.
Yeah, it was. It's so hard to do that last, and did a really nice job controlling her power.
Yeah, that's where all the training comes in. That final pass, here it is.
Yep. Front tuck, right through the double back. Technically, you're supposed to step backwards in your lunge as opposed to stepping forward. She looked well under control to me. So it looks like the conference that's happening on beam. That's the boos in the crowd are not for Mila Brush. They're for the judges because of Cami Winger's leap series. One judge did not give her the connection because she did break her shoulders. She did continue the movement, but she dipped her shoulder, and that can be a break in your leap series. And so that judge who was the head coach at SPU for decades, at first glance did not give her the credit. And now I brought that up because Carly Dockendorf, before she was at Utah, she was an assistant coach at SPU for 8 years, is where she really learned that she wanted to be a gymnastics coach.
Yeah, not just gymnastics, right? She coached
Yeah,
other things.
she coached the track, where she was,
Well, she was a pole vaulter. Yeah, she was awesome.
Standout pole vaulter, standout gymnast.
Set a Canadian record.
Yep.
She was at UW.
Yep. But
She was a Pac-10 champion on bars as well. All right, so the crowd not happy with it.
Yeah, so that 90.
And I don't know if this is something Carly really wanted her team to have to deal with, this delay and some controversy after what happened last week at Arizona State on beam. You wanted to come in clean. Here's what she said after that meet last week, quote, "We learned some valuable lessons. I would rather learn these lessons now than later. This is the first time we've had a fall on balance beam all year. And for it to be the first person up, we clearly didn't know how to handle that extra kind of pressure on beam." Well, they better learn, because that's what makes the difference in postseason.
Yeah, and the person who did handle the pressure last week was McKenna Smith. She went 9.85, and so, you know, they're primed in this position, but I just think it's good for them to know. Oh, goodness. So right off the bat, that candle, she's technically supposed to hold the handstand position there. She over-rotated, went right down to the beam, so will likely lose the value part from that skill. It's worth a D.
She's ranked 11th in the country coming in. Her last 5 have been great, all 9.85 plus.
She'll do a back handspring layout series here. See if the nerves from that over-rotation carry over. Not a problem. It's this connection coming up. If she's had any issues on beam, it's been here. So she'll do a front aerial, needs to connect it into 2 jumps. Flawless. You see a lot of dismounts coming up that she does, the gainer pike. But I love the height that she gets off the beam, really rises up, opens to find the stick. So great job on the latter half of that routine. It'll be interesting to see what the judges do with her candle mount.
Yeah, for her to fight through that disappointment right out the beginning and then come back and do this.
Yeah, shows a lot of mental toughness, a lot of resilience, and the confidence in your skills. Carly also talked about the fact that McKenna has trained harder and trained differently this year. She's very confident in her gymnastics, knows her body, knows her skills, and that is paying off.
A couple of 9.825s for Denver to begin on floor. And here's Cooley once again. Second half of this meet, the weaker side for Denver, ranked 32nd on floor, 39th on beam.
Beam is an event where they typically are so strong, so it's one I expect them to continue improving on. Lots of front tumbling here from Cecilia. Front layout, Rudy, nice and high. Taylor Swift mix. See if Red Rock Abby Paulson is in the stands. She had a Taylor Swift mix of her own last year. CC came as a walk-on to Denver, earned a scholarship, fought through an ACL injury, had her out all last season. So great to see her back in on the floor. Last pass, 1.5 to the front layout. Really beautiful stretch on that front layout. Excellent routine, very pretty. She knows, her teammate knows, that was a special one. Front tumbling. When you're doing bounding skills in connection, it's so important to get the timing right, the physics right. You said it.
Yeah.
It was so high.
The amplitude.
Yep, so clean. and just floats those skills.
Denver showing some grit themselves, staying right in this meet. And remember, for Utah, they got to drop Winger. So 9-9 for Smith. And Grace McCallum goes candle.
Does a nice hold there. The judges did not clearly deduct for that candle on McKenna Smith. They went 9-9. So right here, that forward roll, Grace fell on that last week. It was so shocking to everyone, I think Grace included.
Are we going to the Wolf turns? Should be 3 followed by 2.
And
Yeah, she says there's
counts
3.
it off, and now go for the 2.
Now she's gonna add it and give you the 5. There you go.
I love it.
She's ranked 6th in the country on this event. 4 times she's got 9-9 or better.
She's such a serious athlete. I love to see her having fun. Here's her flight series. Excellent. She just does skills that are a little bit different. Does a split leap here. You see that here and there, but it just looks pretty. And I like that they've choreographed some things that are reminiscent of past routines from her at the Olympic level, college level, like this back dive right here. It is not easy, and you could see she was off slightly. I don't know if the judges' angle could see it, but from ours we could.
It gets me every time because it looks painful.
It's painful, it's terrifying.
She does it on the floor as well,
Yep.
but there at least you're on a padded mat. Here it's 4 inches of a hard balance beam. I don't know.
You've got to catch correctly.
Oh, and then the dismount, stuck it. That's going to cost $30 for the coaches.
That will be, wow.
$10 a stick.
That was really, really exceptional. And, you know, she's never gotten a 10 on beam. The judges have been stingier at the top, stingier giving out the 10s this season. There have only been 2 on balance beam.
3 times in her career, she's gone 9-9-7-5. None of them this year.
She was just so solid, start to finish.
If I gave you a pencil, could you mark something down? Was there?
I mean, it's not fair because now we've seen it in slow-mo,
Right.
right? So,
well, now the crowd's getting excited. 110 is in.
and we've got a 995 on the other side. So, you know, the side of the crowd that saw the 10 first jumps on their feet. The other side jumps into boos. But either way,
And Carly says
really.
they don't want to give it. I've seen it before. It seems like almost subconsciously the judges are going to grade Olympians and national champions at a bit higher level. They expect a little bit more.
they do expect a little bit more. They should judge what's at hand in front of them, not what they remember her doing.
Bella Mabanta again, just her 5th floor of the year, but she is coming off a season high 9.875 against Oregon State a week ago.
And she is a stunning artist on this event. I'm so glad we get to see her in the lineup.
Cooley, by the way, went 9.875, so the rotation going in the right direction for Denver.
Same first tumbling pass as we saw from CC, front layout, front Rudy. Not quite the amplitude. You want the tumbling to rise above your hips. Her leaps are really differentiator. Watch this switch ring, gorgeous.
She touched the button with one of the heels.
Yep. Got the closure you're looking for. And it's a Turgite ring, not a switch ring, my bad. Same last pass, 1.5 front layout. Good rise, but it was a little bit crooked. Does a nice job to stay in bounds. Really fun, beautiful routine from Bella. One of their many 4 5th years that came back and had just an uncharacteristically slow start to the season. But they've got so much experience. You can tell she was really crooked on that 1.5. Does a nice job to stay in bounds and control the layout.
Go back to beam and the return of Avery Neff. She hasn't been on balance beam since January 17th, so 34 days. Her scores have been rising, so after the sprained ankle on floor, and she went just to bars, and now she's adding in beam. And this room has gone quiet.
Really quiet. She has reworked a few beam elements that were hard on her ankle, so we'll see a new connection. I'll call that out when it's coming up, but off the top, she does this side aerial to back handspring flight series. She's so aggressive. Beautiful connection. Going side to back like that, so hard. Get your hips square. She does it masterfully. This is the new connection. We'll do a cat leap to a side aerial, and then the Shushanova. That no one in the NCAA does that combination. Full stop. It's so hard to do 3 skills in a row, but to end with the Shushanova like that, I love it.
We have seen Utah gymnasts fight back from injuries, from adversity, through challenges. He's the #1 recruit in the country, coming off an injury, returning to beam in front of a capacity crowd, and sticking it.
Fantastic. What a story Avery Neff has been since before her time at Utah, to the adversity that she faced and the comeback that she's mounting. And I don't want people to think that, you know, they are not listening. The team doctors approve this. Her progress has been both just her incredible anatomy and that she's 18 years old, but also because she works really hard. And Carly kept giving credit to their team doctor for the extra time and their trainer putting in extra time with her to get her back and nail a landing like that. Wow.
See, that's joy on her face, but our cutaways to the crowd, that was relief.
Right, exactly. They love to see that and make sure that she's not grimacing upon that landing. Pure joy.
That's one of the feel-good moments of the night. Maya Schroeder right there.
Yep.
Getting involved. Madison Ulrich now, as Denver tries to keep pace. 9.85 for Mavanta. So the score's floating upwards for Denver, and they need 2 more.
She is a powerhouse. First pass, double layout. Gorgeous.
Wow.
She's so unassuming. Just a sophomore. After that whistle, which in every routine you hear the crowd or the team say, "Let's go DU." Very nice leaps. Combination pass, 1.5 to front layout. Nice and clean. Can't be overstated how challenging it is to compete all around in every single meet of your career. The training that takes, the dedication, the mental prep. She really is a complete athlete.
Wow.
Just exceptional tumbling and dance leaps, the whole package. Madison Ulrich, exceptional.
She tied a season high 9.875 on that routine last week. You have to think this will challenge that score.
Yeah, that double layout, you know, her front foot moved slightly, but is so difficult. That E element, the hardest tumbling pass being done in college gymnastics. Really special. Ooh. Low score. They gave her 9.875. I disagree with that.
Avery Neff went 9.9, second highest score of the season for her on beam. Elizabeth Gantner now in the anchor spot. She has to come through. They don't want to count Winger's score.
She is their beam specialist, but right off the bat, a little bit of a bobble, so needs to reset. I want to see her take a deep breath here before her flight series. Back handspring layout coming up. Beautiful. I'd argue this connection coming up, though, is more difficult, gets more bonus. Switch half into a straddle jump. And does a nice job moving, but did see her right shoulder drop. So I don't think it was as severe as Cammie Winger's, but you know, Judge 1 is being a little picky tonight. She really is the definition of a beam specialist, though, and has come in pressure-packed situations and knows how to hit. To dismount left for the sophomore. Round off, 1.5, nails the landing.
She comes through and she nods. She says, "You bet."
Yep, she knows.
That was clutch for Utah.
Really
because
clutch.
the meet was hanging in the balance. They're trying to bounce back from last week. They're ranked #1 in the country on the event.
This is tight.
A lot of chips in the middle of the table there.
Yeah, really tight. It is going to come down to these tenths, and so her holding on to the landing in that way, it would have been easy to take a slide back, but does an excellent job holding on to it. And just doing one routine is so hard. She warmed up beam like 3 hours ago, and so to stay warm and stay mentally fit is super impressive.
And do it all as a sophomore.
Yep.
She knew what was on the line. Anchor spot on the floor for Denver. Madison Reidenbach.
It was a late lineup change for Momo Iwai. She's been in a couple times this season, though. Super powerful, like we saw in vault.
So they already have a 49.25, but Reidenbach can erase that 98.25 earlier, one of those, and bump their score.
That's a really beautiful whip half into the Rudy. Don't see as many of those anymore. I really like them. There's the whistle. Violin music from Lindsey Sterling. Olympian champion Sunisa Lee made her music, or used her music as well. Woo! Could tell going into that leap series she was a little bit discombobulated, and so that'll be a deduction on that wolf full. Great double pike, very nice landing. So really beautiful routine, aside from that leap series, which could be a bigger deduction than you would expect because it's so important to her start value. She was supposed to do 2 wolf fulls in a row, but that whip half to Rudy, really beautiful. Her last pass, very nice double tuck. You can tell, oh, love the pointed toes in the air, beautiful. But she is gonna be missing quite a bit of bonus points for that leap series that went sideways.
We're still waiting on the score for Reidenbach. Jaylene Gilstrap, this is exhibition.
Spent the summer learning all new skills on beam. So that handle is new for her, a new series, new leap series, new dismount, really remade herself in her 5th year. Getting a master's certificate in psychology.
Seems appropriate for a gymnast.
And one on the balance beam, no less. You know, that layout series is so beautiful, and I just think she lacks confidence on it because she was pretty straight, and then the hips just went out of line after she landed.
Again, just exhibition. The beam score is in already for Utah. 49.575, season best.
There we go. Talk about coming back from adversity and wobbling there on that green jump, but beautiful position on that on beam, as we come to expect from Jaylene. Her artistry, her extension, her flexibility. Cartwheel down low on beam, really scary. Hard to do, harder than it looks. New game pike for her. Nice rise, but a hop forward. She's been in, this is her 6th time exhibitioning. Holding her shoulder there. Hopefully that's nothing to worry about. But yeah, not the exclamation point that Utah beam rotation deserves, knowing that it was a season high.
Amanda Hargraves exhibitioning on floor for Denver. I still do not see a score for Madison Reidenbach. 9.775. It will not improve their score. So Denver goes 49.250 on floor, which is right about their average on the season.
Amanda's a powerful tumbler. We'll also do the front layout to Rudy we've seen a couple times. Nice height. Top. Seattle product, competed for Metropolitan. We'll do a 1.5 to front layout to close. A nice exhibition routine for them. One that's a good, solid bench performance that they can have in their back pocket.
Yeah, because you got to know when you get into the second season, you got to have people ready to go. If there's an injury or somebody gets a little rusty, you got to go to the bench, you got to go to the bullpen. Utah with a 148.475 now after the season best on beam. Coming up, we're going to talk with Utah head coach Carly Dockendorf about that beam, and we'll be joined by Utah's Jaden Rucker, whose season ended early, but she's still a big part of this program. Carly Dockendorf joins us now. Well, I know coming in, as it always is, there's a lot of emphasis on beam. But your team answers 49.575. That's the season high.
Yeah, I was super proud of them. I mean, we did an entire, new lineup tonight. We went back to the original OG with Emily Morgan leading off, and we did a practice meet yesterday, and I wanted her to have a chance to, just remind herself what it's like to go first up, and she was excited yesterday, so I knew she was going to start that beam lineup off exactly where we needed to be tonight.
So how do we carry that momentum into floor? What are you looking for?
Yeah, we're just going to stay focused on this one event and just bring some good energy and just do the gymnastics we practice every single day in the gym.
Carly, you talked about the valuable lessons you learned last week in Tempe, and you'd rather learn them now. What have you learned so far tonight about your squad?
I think this squad just showed how resilient they are and just how determined they are, and we know we left that in Tempe and we move forward and we're back doing the exact skills that we know how to do tonight.
Appreciate it, Carly. Thank you very much. Go Utes.
Thank you. Go Utes.
Yeah, she's got to be ecstatic with that, especially Gantner with that 9.875 and Neff 9.9 at the back end of the lineup.
Yeah, after 4 or 5 weeks off beam, for Avery to come back like that, she just continues to show why she was the #1 recruit in the country.
So look at this graphic, because this is just beautiful for Red Rocks fans. They are ranked in the top 5 on all 4 events, and of course they're 4th in the country. They haven't achieved that since 2009. Now just think of who's come through here, what they've accomplished, and that's a new level right now. And this team started out this year talking openly about winning a national championship, trying to put themselves in that place. 4 years in a row, they have finished 3rd at the NCAA finals. They're tired of bronze. Mix in some gold.
Yeah, why not? And they've yet to put together 24 of their best hits, and they still haven't tonight. And so really, and Carly mentioned that, their best gymnastics is ahead of them, which is where it should be at this point in the season.
So who are the challengers? Well, you got to figure Oklahoma's going to be up there. LSU, UCLA has jumped to #2. We take a look at some of the headlines from around the country in women's gymnastics. And speaking of which, #2 LSU beat Oklahoma with a 198.050. LSU went 49.7 at home on the floor. Oklahoma had a pretty good beam, but not as good as normal. That opened the door. They ended up winning at UCLA. There's that jump from 5th to 2nd. And Jordan Childs now, national recognition once again. Time Magazine Woman of the Year.
UCLA has a big meet tomorrow against Michigan as well. Challenging for the Big Ten title, something that they're looking to do in their first year in that conference.
Matchup of former national champions recently, recent history in women's gymnastics. Another big crowd inside the Huntsman. They once again set a record for season tickets, and they kind of have a rule not to sell above the lower bowl because they want people to be able to come once or twice a year with their kids and build the fan base. It all started with Greg Marsden 40 years ago. It's still going strong. And I'll tell you what, one of the greatest compliments I heard was Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt, the Denver coach, went out of her way on our call to tell us how much she respected Utah, the Marsdens, what they have done. And she's been there for 27 years, so she's watched it happen.
Yeah, she really appreciates the blueprint that Greg Marsden has set forth for every college team about how to market women's athletics, not just women's gymnastics, but how to market women's athletics. And he was persistent, some would say probably annoying, at his insistence that his gymnasts get on the air, that they are in advertisements, they're out there.
Yep.
The judges are covering their ears right now because of how loud it is in here.
Cooley is going to open the final rotation for Denver as they close the meet on the beam. Statistically, their weakest event, but we're only halfway through the season and they did have a slow start. Cooley added beam this year. He's been the leadoff now in the last 4 meets and coming off a career high 9.875.
Flight series by handspring layout. Nice and quick, beautifully done. Switch half. Just a little bit of bobble there that she plays off into a dance move.
She missed all of last year with that injury. Fighting her way back.
Beam routines are short and sweet. Does her back handspring into the gainer off the side. A little bit of a low landing, but the feet don't move. Great confident start for the Pioneers.
All of her season best this year on her 3 events, at least 9.875.
There's her flight series. One of the 5 special requirements on balance beam. And then her dismount in combination. You don't want your shoulders to go over your knees there. So will be a slight deduction. Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt, she's the beam coach. This is her event. So proud of how her athletes are fighting back from an uncharacteristically bad beam start for them this season.
Well, if you remember that graphic we showed you, Utah ranked in the top 5 on every event on floor. They are the 4th best team in the country, averaging nearly a 49.4. Ashley Glenn, leadoff.
Just brings a calm, confident energy, according to Carly. Opens with a front double. It is an E element, nice open position. Does a good job to dance out of it when she seemed a little bit off center. See in the background there, Miley O'Keefe and Jaden Rucker, your 2 student coaches. So much experience between the 2 of them. Closes 1.5 front layout. Good job to stay in bounds, a little bit under rotated on that second layout. But a solid start for Ashley Glenn and this Utes in their
You want to keep
4th
it in
and final.
mind? Yeah, Utah's season best is a 197.950. That came across town at the Maverick Center, the best of Utah.
Here's that last pass. She looked a little bit crooked. So, yeah, just a few little foot faults there on the landing.
Slip, yep. And for Denver, their best this year are 197.125. That came against BYU a couple meets back. They got a shot at that as well. This is the time of the season. It's go time. Everybody's starting to move. EY now on beam.
Momo, as she's now under her teammates, is an exceptional beam worker. Really great style, fluidity.
Big 12 champion a few years ago. Went 9-9 this year against Missouri.
So she'll either do 1 or 2 layouts here. We'll see what she decides of this flight series. Does 2, and wow, from my angle looked off in the first, but just pulls it
Corrected.
beautifully in mid-air on that second one. Does that inward full turn like Avery Neff does.
Yeah,
Love
opposite
that.
turn, right.
Yep. Again, it's just style points. The same requirement. No special bonus for that, but just looks cool. Wow. Awesome.
That was solid.
So solid, so smooth. Love her style on beam.
Good for her.
Really, really cool.
And remember, Cooley had gone 9-8-7-5, so they're off to a rocking start on beam.
Yeah, and look at those quick layouts. Yeah, I mean, she just looks, some gymnasts, their hips are never perfectly in line with beam, and that's just the way they do it, and it works for them, and wow, it works for Momoko EY. Awesome.
We go back to floor and Ella Zerbis, and if you've been following our coverage during the year, she's been dealing with a private challenge courageously by doing it publicly.
Yeah, really wants to normalize the mental health struggles, the sort of mental blocks that she's had on floor a couple times this year. She's talked about it openly. There's an article in KSL Sports. Normalizing it, she wants to just, if you can help one person understand that it's okay, what they're going through is okay, it's normal. She tells her story. So beautiful, that front double full. She's such an elegant, dynamic athlete. Assistant coach Maya Hambrick and Carly Dockendorf split the choreography. It's so beautiful. This time in the routine is where she has had her struggles. So they've done some new choreography, given her some more time to prepare. So the Leo grab there was new, not choreographed, but must not be feeling that. She sets up, goes right into the last pass. It's really difficult. 1.5, front full, awesome. Looked like she was gonna be a little under-rotated, but no problem.
Throws a stag leap in at the end and finishes.
Yeah, just beautiful.
It's a different kind of cheer for her because everybody kind of holds their breath and just helps her through it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's so inspiring. I was talking to my daughters about this, who are still young and are in sports, and I tell them it's okay sometimes to be a little afraid, to kind of lock up a little bit, take a breath. She goes through some mental exercises. She looked great tonight.
Yeah, it's okay to not be okay. And
Yeah.
Ella Zerbis went public with that, which is so admirable. You know, we had Simone Biles publicly talking about what she went through at the Tokyo Olympics, and I think has just been such a good role model for all of women in
And
sports.
Biles got attacked for it. She got beat
Exactly.
up on the internet, which is nothing new, but
Right. No, but I think, you know, gymnastics is so hard physically on its own.
Yeah.
And you don't talk about the mental component as much.
so EY goes 9.95 for Denver. That ties a career best for her. And here's Ashley Gallen.
This is the first competitive routine of her career at Denver.
Yeah, she's been in a couple of exhibitions. Her best was a 9.75 at Arkansas. Now look at this, on the beam at Utah in front of a huge crowd.
And the team erupted in the back there. That leap combination is the most difficult thing she'll do in the routine. She's showing just really confident composure. Her countenance looks like she's having a good time up there. She's a Texas State beam champ, so we know that it's an event she's succeeded on, but it's so different doing it in front of a crowd this
Hold on.
size.
And I'll tell you, right halfway through it, the smile started to come to her face. She said,
Yep. I got this.
Right when you were talking about her experience and her success at the club level on beam.
Yep, same beam, different day. But in front of a crowd she will have never faced in her gymnastics career at this size. You know, they did compete at Oklahoma. You know, this Denver team is not unused to being in front of big crowds, but Ashley, this is her first competitive routine. She's just a sophomore.
That's a great moment for her personally.
Yeah.
Zoe Johnson had one of those moments last week, her collegiate debut on floor in Tempe, went 9-9.
She's did a great job in that anchor spot. Cammie Winger out just resting her ankles on floor tonight.
Zoe Johnson named the Big 12 Newcomer of the Week after that performance on floor at Arizona State.
She has so much power, needs to maintain it, stay in bounds on her double pike. Awesome landing. Coming up here, this leap pass is super important for her. She's got to do 2 popas in a row. Well landed. So fun watching her confidence grow in this floor routine from when we saw it first time out in exhibition. Has some front tumbling to close. Full front layout. Oh goodness, does a great job staying on her feet. But that will be a sizable deduction. That squatted landing. It won't be 5/10, which is the deduction for a fall. She's so powerful. She competed a double layout in club. It's something that they will get back eventually, but at this point it's about building her competitive confidence. So here's the slip here. She does that front full, and then yeah, the front layout, she just was not in the right position after the front full to bound that, but insane leg strength for her to save that. And the floor is slippery, and she's got ankle tape on. So, I mean, just really great job by her showing resilience in that position.
And it keeps the door open for Denver, who's having a spectacular beam rotation. 9.875, 9.95 by EY, and Gallon just went 9.85. Here's Abby Thompson now. So they're still in the meet.
Yeah, this is still very close competition. Abby, her only routine, excellent side aerial to back handspring. Utah fans are used to seeing that from Miley O'Keefe and Abby Paulson. Abby, 5th year. I love that connection. The side, or the switch leap into the side semi, so cool. So far, this is just a gorgeous beam routine from Abby Thompson, continuing their dynamic beam set. Last week, she came up after Mia Hebing fell and did 9.875. So far, looking just fantastic. Gainer pike to close. Tiny step forward, I think. But either way, 4th routine stuck for them. We've got a battle tonight.
Meet remains close, but our attention now is focused between us because we're joined by Jaden Rucker. I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Okay.
I'm sorry to see you sitting here.
I know.
I wish you were out there. So Jaden injured her Achilles to start the season, and that scuttled her season. That's a big injury. It's the end of your career. At that point, why do you need to just pack up and go back to Arizona and get on with the next chapter? Why are you still here?
Yes, well, first of all, Utah's such an amazing program, and I just love it here so much. Why would anyone want to leave? And second, I want to go into coaching, and this was a really big opportunity for me to be in a player-coach role. And so for me to just be able to stay here and play that role and be that for the girls and give that kind of different perspective meant a lot to me.
Yeah, because you've been there and you've been there recently, so it's real coming from you.
Yes.
So Carly talked about you giving these excellent pep talks, and she particularly called out how much you've helped Zoe Johnson grow and settle into her freshman year. What pep talk did you just give her before that floor routine?
Well, Zoe's kind of funny. She doesn't really like any cues, it's very important to know what the gymnast needs before they go. And so I kind of had a conversation with her, and I was like, what is something that you need before you go? And she just told me to kind of talk to her about just anything random, basically, and just be there for her as a teammate.
Here's one of the great performances we've enjoyed all year long. Jaylene Gilstrap, Piano Man on the floor.
Yes.
Jaden, feel free to jump in anytime with reactions during this.
Okay, this is fun.
Jaylene starts with front tumbling, the front layout into the Rudy. Watch the height she gets here. That float. Does anyone do that tumbling pass like she does?
Absolutely not. Oh, that's so pretty.
It's really, really stunning to see. There's some floor teams you just don't want to talk during. Just take it in.
Yes, that's me with all of them, though.
Ooh, like that she added the back handspring after that layout. That's new. Actually counts as one of her tumbling passes. You have to tumble backwards and forwards. Here's her final front full, front layout. Beautiful.
It just strikes a chord, and you're watching it with the music, her performance, the grace, the dance. I mean, I just love it every time.
Yes, she put a lot of work into it too, so it's always fun to see her go out there and like get to show it off.
Yeah, because you're there every day. You get to see the building of it and the trouble spots and how you polish it.
Yes.
Go through it all. You know, we're enjoying Utah on the floor right now as we watch the replay of this tumbling pass. But what about beam tonight? Because I know after last week at Arizona State, there was a lot of pressure and a lot of emphasis on beam. And Carly told us, she said, listen, we learned a lot of lessons last week. It's good we learned them now, so we don't learn them in the postseason.
Yes.
And then to come back with a 49.575 season best, that's a huge moment.
Yes.
And here's another one.
She's so cute. Oh, she's been waiting for that.
Yeah, just tied her career high, 9.95. So well deserved. And this meet is real tight right now. Denver is killing it on beam, so super important that she comes back after the Zoe Johnson routine with that.
And Jen, I didn't let you answer about the beam performance tonight, which was fantastic, especially at the end with Avery Neff and Elizabeth Danner coming through in the 5 and 6 spots.
Yes.
This is a tough spot for Riley Mundell, 5th year, but she is so talented on beam. Beautiful.
She's always had very beautiful gymnastics.
It just looks really easy, and I love her shoulder flexibility.
Yes.
By the way, the difference in the meet right now is .050.
Oh my goodness.
It's that close.
No, no.
Holds on to it. I mean, the lowest score so far for Denver on beam is a 9.85. They still have Mundell here, and then Ulrich.
Yeah, that's this. Unfortunately, that leg up wobble can be up to 3/10. Forward roll harder than it looks.
Yes. Yeah. It's so weird seeing the scores because I try not to look at them.
Sure.
So this is really weird for me.
So she closes here with a piked gainer. See if she can get back on track. Nails, hops back on the landing. But wow.
Yeah, that's the score they're going to want to drop going into Ulrich in the anchor spot.
Yep. So here's her flight series. Beautiful extension. See, the left hip wanted to come up, and she just used the arms to correct. And then the hop back, uncharacteristic for her.
Back to Utah on the floor. Gilstrap just tied the career high. They close with McKenna Smith and Grace McCallum.
What can you tell us about McKenna Smith and her vibe?
Her vibe, oh, it's always so fun. But with her gymnastics, I think you just always know what you're going to get with her. And that's something that's huge for this team, just to know that she's a consistent hitter, but also like such big score for us too.
Yeah, she sure is. Her last 6 on floor, at least 9.85. She went 9.95 here against Arizona a couple weeks ago.
I'm always so impressed at how she keeps that in bounds. That front tuck out of the double full, so high and beautiful.
So powerful. I love how the crowd reacts too to her routine. It's always so fun.
It's fun. Throwing a little twist in.
This is always a crowd favorite.
Probably the easiest thing she'll do in that routine.
Right. I'm trying to contain my excitement.
So one more front tumbling pass to close. She'll do the
hits
Rudy.
this, she's gonna pop the roof off the place.
I'm gonna have to take my headset off. Oh,
Oh, come on!
And throws the heart up at the end.
They're all up. Everybody's standing at the Huntsman.
oh, give it to her, please.
What an electric atmosphere. This is just so rare in gymnastics.
The 995 against Arizona was her career high a couple of weeks ago. There's only been 110 this year. That was Grace McCallum on bars at Arizona State last week. What is wrong with this routine? It's spectacular.
So good.
Really special. Connect that. Connect
She's
this.
so cute.
Some of the crowd sitting, some continue to stand and wait for the numbers.
That's the one thing about the Huntsman crowd that I love is if they can see the score, they'll tell you if it's a 10 before they flash it.
That's exactly how we know it. One judge.
Oh, still a very good score.
A great score. What a spot for Madison Ulrich from Denver to be in on beam. This place is electric.
9925.
Yeah.
I'm not
We'll
saying
take
it's
it, though.
perfect, but yeah. All right, Madison Ulrich, and this is a huge performance here for Denver. Look at their rotation, already a 49.25, and she can bump it considerably.
Back handspring layout series to start. She lined up so close to the end of the beam, I thought she was going to do a triple series for the first time.
She's gone 9.875 twice this year on beam.
She's so steady and consistent. It's her leap series. Had a little bit of a bobble between, but didn't let her rattle her. It is loud in here, and she is so far so calm. Just a gainer pike away from an absolutely flawless set under such immense pressure. Gorgeous. Wow.
That was really good.
Denver has already posted a season best by almost 3/10 already. So that's 3 weeks in a row that Denver has posted a season best team score.
That's her back handspring layout series. I am so impressed by her at only a sophomore. So important for Denver as they graduate 6 athletes this year.
So Utah up by 3/10 before we see Ulrich score, and Grace McCallum can put it away. And I love it, she looked up at the crowd for just a moment to soak it in.
Rested at ASU last week. Has gone 10, not this season on floor.
At Stanford last year.
Opens with a full in. Beautiful landing.
So solid.
The chest position on that landing is
Yes.
exceptional. Difficult combination pass coming up, front through to a double tuck. You knew she had it. That front tuck to the roundoff was perfect positions.
Oh my goodness.
Here comes the Wolf turn. Double.
Yes.
This is her back dive.
Same one she does on beam. And that should do it for Utah.
Wow.
That's why they come.
Awesome.
It builds up to floor all night long, and then they just let it go.
I'm so happy for her. That was so good.
That was truly one of the best I've seen her do. There's this full twisting double back.
So high.
Just open in the
Chest,
air,
so
great
good.
positions. You've spent so much time with Grace. What's your favorite thing about her gymnastics?
Oh my gosh. Again, just like McKenna, the consistency that she has. She's just, you know what she's gonna do when she goes up there. Oh no, did she get it?
Oh, 9975.
Is that three? Is that her third?
That's her third.
Oh my goodness.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
consistency. That's, you just know what you're gonna get from her.
You know,
So,
the judges promised all year they weren't going to give out the 10s.
And your first 198 of the season.
oh my gosh, we got it.
198.075 season high for both teams tonight. And Utah gets their 198.
Finally, yes.
So
I
they'll-
saw Grace see that. That's what I think she was celebrating right there. That's awesome.
Certainly going to hold at least fourth in the national rankings once the math is all done. Once again, Jaden Rucker is with us. We're going to get you out of here on this.
Okay.
You've been through so much during your time
Yes.
at the University of Utah. You were a national vault champion back in 22. You've been part of so many great teams and all the relationships you've made. And then you have your last season kind of taken away, and now you make this transition into a mentorship role. As you look back on it, the slideshow in your head, what do you remember?
Oh my goodness. The first thing that comes to my mind is just the support from the team and the coaches. They've always treated me so nice, and I don't want to cry, oh my goodness. And the second thing is just the fans. I don't think they realize how much their energy and support and love means to us. It's something that every alumni, we just had our alumni weekend, every one of them said the exact same thing. It's just so amazing to be in this environment, and I was just so blessed to be a small part of
Yeah,
it.
you guys, all the alums came back. You had a gala, the whole thing. Everybody got to talk about it.
Yes.
And the ones from the past said you guys got to hold up the standard, and certainly you've done that. Listen, for all of us who got to watch you all those years, thanks for all the thrills. It was a blast, and now we can't wait to see you as a head coach.
Oh, thank you so much.
Just be nice to
Thank
the
you
media,
guys.
please. It's the key to
Yes.
everything. Appreciate
Yes.
the time, Jaden.
Thank you
Congratulations.
guys so much.
Jaden Rucker, a fantastic career at Utah. She's still adding on to it. Part of it. I know you want to go celebrate with your team, so yeah, you can go. We put you through enough. Wow, how about that tonight? You know, we came in and you were talking about how good Denver was. Sorry, we could try to get Jaden and her boot out of the chair. You were talking about how good Denver was, and Melissa Kutcher Reinhardt just proved it again. 3 weeks in a row, they put up a season high. That's their best score of the year, 197.525.
And I really think that helped propel Utah to the score today. The competition was so tight after each rotation that they really brought their A game today. Both teams did. I love this new look Big 12. Utah now the Big 12 regular season champions.
6-0, they
with
win it,
that
yeah.
win and that 198, such an important marker, only surpassed this season so far by LSU and Oklahoma. You know, it's just such a testament to Carly Dockendorf and the way she has this team mentally adjust when they face adversity. That beam rotation and the new look lineup today was so incredibly impressive to watch how they put things together throughout this season, but also throughout the meet tonight.
So Big 12 championship for Utah, and Avery Neff joins us on headset. And Avery, I know this is the first time you've been on with us. And the first thing I get to say is congratulations on your Big 12 championship. Utah just wrapped it up with a 6-0 record so far.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. I can't even imagine. Like, it's so much fun.
We were here the night that you were injured, and we all walked out of here. We were sick to our stomachs, and we thought, oh no, and we had no idea that you were going to come back from that. You missed 3 weeks. You come back, you've been on bars, and tonight you add back in beam. So you go 985 on bars, and then on beam, the 9-9. Tell me how it feels for you as you're coming back. I know you want to come back quicker. They're adding it slowly.
This has definitely taught me patience. There's always a blessing in everything, I believe, and this has been my blessing in disguise, is learning patience, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to come back this quick. I mean, I didn't believe that I would even come back this quick, more or less even this season, so I'm so grateful that I just got to be here tonight and hopefully add in some more the rest of the season.
That was going to be my question for you. If you had to guess, how's the foot feeling as you start to get back into tumbling?
I mean, I actually thought that the next event I'd be in was floor, and this week I was like, I just want to try beam, and you know, I came into beam and floor, maybe it's next, maybe vault, I don't know yet, but we'll see how this week goes, next week goes.
Awesome.
Avery, I talked to Jimmy Pratt right before the meet tonight, and I said, when are you going to let Avery do her dismount on bars? And he said, not yet. Not yet. So you have to defer to him, right? He's been here longer. He's the adult in the room. He's got the long view. But you got to be pushing, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every week, every day I come in and I'm pushing. I'm like, do you think I can do the float today? And he says, maybe in the pit, we'll see. Maybe add in a mat. I'm pushing in every day to see what I can kind of push his limit, because I kind of like to just feel my body and see what I can do and how to push.
So team goes 198 for the first time this season. You're one of only 3 teams in college to do it. What do you expect out of this team the rest of the season?
This team is very much a team that progresses every single week. I was so just starstruck that we got the 198.075, and it was just, you can hear the crowd right now just roar, and it's really no feeling like, it's not even a feeling you can even imagine, and the fact that it's happening, I just think it's good for Utah. We're just going to keep progressing.
Avery, congratulations on the 198 plus tonight, the Big 12 championship, and for all of Red Rock Nation. I think I speak for just about everybody in this state when I say welcome back.
Thank you so much. That means the world.
Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you. Go Utes.
Avery Neff, the #1 recruit in the nation, who sprained her ankle on floor a couple of weeks ago. Was at Iowa State, that meet?
January 17th.
And you and I walked out here and we thought, I don't know if we're going to see her back again. 3 weeks later, she was on bars, and tonight she adds beam, so she's on the road to recovery.
And such an important part of that beam lineup today, as the Utes come back in such dominant fashion after the little hiccup at ASU last week to get their first 198.
Both teams hit season highs. Denver, road tri-meet at Iowa State next week. Red Rock's got a bye, then at Washington on the 8th, UCLA here on the 15th. For your producer, Elizabeth Ahlstrom, director Zach Blaine, and my partner, Elisa Mao, I'm Jim Watson. So long from the Huntsman on a magical night in Salt Lake City.